Hi everyone, and welcome to the FamilyFirstFibres Knitting Podcast, episode 2. If you've been following along, welcome back, and thanks for sharing and following along. And if you're new, welcome. I'm Mallory Thompson. I am the founder and creator of FamilyFirstFibres. We are a hand-dyed yarn line that just opened at the end of 2019. So, hello. So my goal has been to do about once a month video, once every 2 month video. We are pushing now closer to the 2 month, about a month and a half, 2 months. So I apologize, I've been away a lot. Part of that time that I was away, I was dyeing yarn and getting ready to go into Maritime Mosaic in Amherst, Nova Scotia. So if you're ever in the Amherst, Nova Scotia area, feel free to stop into Maritime Mosaic and give my yarn a squish or maybe a buy, your choice. As along with that, I also tried something new. So I've never dyed spinning fiber before. And a friend of mine, Bobbi Lee at Inspired Knitting Podcast, hi Bobbi if you're watching, she had gifted me some roving to try and spin with, or to dye with and then spin with. So my first attempt at dyeing has led me with this. So I believe this is 100% Rambouillet fiber, and it's my first attempt at dyeing fiber for spinning, and this is kind of the final outcome. So I can't wait to get my wheel set up and start trying that. I'm still fairly new to spinning. This is my first time dyeing for spinning, so I'm hoping it turns out nice. If not, we can always have ugly yarn made into something pretty. Okay, other than that, a lot of the time that was taken away over the past month was spent on partially the sweater. So this sweater in total took about a week to make. I was on and off with it whenever time I could. This is the Beginner Raglan Light by Knititude. It is garter stitch. It's beautiful, easy eyelet holes there for the increases. Creates a beautiful pattern. You'll have to excuse me today, I'm in my office, so I kind of have like seedling starters over here in the window, and then this is my roasting pans and some of my dye supplies, and the lighting is not very good in here, but I'm doing the best I can with a 7-month-old and a 3-year-old to not interrupt our videos. So continuing on, right now we are currently working on the Bobble Shawl by Drea Renee Knits. I am doing a knit along with Bobbi. Bobbi's kind of taken a side right now to it. If you follow along on her channel, you'll see that she has some personal life expectancies going on. She just had her surgery yesterday, I believe. If not, it was today. She's doing well. I can't wait to see her and see how she's doing after that. But we are doing the Bobble Shawl by Andrea Mowry for our knit along. It started Valentine's Day, February 14th, and it's running till March 31st. So it's plenty of time to still join in. And you don't need to finish to win a prize, and there will be the odd few prizes available. You just have to use the hashtag Valentine Bobble Shawl knit along. Find the original tag that I use, the hashtag I use on my Instagram at FamilyFirstFibres, to be entered for a prize. Any FamilyFirstFibres yarn that you choose to use in your shawl gets you an extra entry for a prize. Just a heads up there. I also have a deal going on right now that if you buy your 3 colors, your main color needs a 4th skein technically. So if you buy your 3 colors, you get the 4th one 50% off, I believe. So this is how far I've gotten in my Bobble Shawl. I am headed into the second section of brioche, and I've never done brioche before, so this is my first brioche project, and I thought it was really well written to understand. So we started off over here, and we did our nice striping section in garter, and then we moved into our first section of brioche, which Cinco brioche, to swap the colors out. And then we moved into our lace section, which once blocking comes, I really hope it opens it up some. Beautiful. And then I went into my second section of garter stripes, and at the very top I am just getting into the second section of brioche. So I'm very excited about this. The colors I used in this are Echo is Here. These are all Family First Fibres. They're all on my Shawi base. This is Echo is Here. Now, I will note that most of the time I dye with batches of 5 skeins, and this, because it was a specialty batch, it was only dyed with 2. So this has probably more pigmented color in it than what your normal Echo is Here would have on it if you ordered it offline. This is Echo is Here. This is Seaside. Bright, nice blue, very bright. I also have another blue I'm going to compare to it afterwards for this. This is Seaside. Maybe it's Sea Breeze. Seaside, Sea Breeze. I have to double check that. Seaside or Sea Breeze. And then this is Spring Hill Coal Mine. And this is a very nice, it's bordering black, but it's more of a gray. When you knit up with it, it's more of a dark gray. And those are the 3 colors I'm using in my bauble shawl. All Family First Fibres. I'm super excited. When I added the 3rd color, when I added the blue, I was kind of nervous at first. I didn't think it was going to work. And then the more I've been knitting on it, the more beautiful I'm thinking it's getting. So I can't wait to keep working on that. Feel free to join in. There's plenty of time. March 31st, like I said, you don't have to finish. It's just for fun, and I use most of my knit-alongs to keep myself from having a pile of UFOs, to keep myself just unclogged, uncluttered, keep my FOs coming. So the socks you would have seen last episode were for Q1 by Exterminate's Get Scrappy 2020 knit-along. I have currently finished those socks, and they've already been worn, so they're currently downstairs waiting to be washed. They are kind of dirty. Also in that time frame, I've also casted on a Love Note by Tin Can Knits for my 6 to 12 month old, and it's finished, and it is also dirty. So 2 of my main FOs that I have, unfortunately, I'm not showing on this, but you can find pictures of them over on my Instagram. So I have started the Q2 socks, which technically I started Q1 to try and stay ahead, and I've just been working back and forth when I get bored of knitting or straight knitting or knit and purl 1 rib. And so for my socks for Q2, and Q2 is all about nature. She said think nature inspired. And when I had first gotten my 9-inch circs, I had specifically went out to buy sock yarn to knit socks, and this was the yarn. It's just a red heart and soul, and it's called By the Lakeside. And so By the Lakeside's pretty nature, and where I had started them and I had bought them specifically for my 9-inch circs, I'm going to continue them for the Q2 Exterminate's Get Scrappy 2020, and hopefully I'll have another pair of socks finished. So I'm doing cuff and straight knitting, and I'll probably do cuff to cuff, cut it in half, and then put in my afterthought heel and toe like I did last time, because that seems to be working for me and they fit comfortably. And I'm just not ready to get out of vanilla socks yet. So that would be Q2s. And they're getting long. I'm not used to long up the leg socks. I'm used to shorties. So these will be an actual adult pair of socks. So that's for Q2. I also technically have a pair started for Q3 that might work. Now it's supposed to be your scraps. So I might cast on another pair, but I had this beautiful yarn given to me by Bobbi as well. And it's a self-striping yarn, and I believe she said it was Knit Picks Felicity yarn, and it's a self-striping, so where it's Q3 is a striping one, so I might just color stripe with these socks. If I can get these socks finished for Q3, at least I have my Q3 socks done. If not, I might do the scrap socks, we'll see. But those are Q3 that I have casted on and just started. The only reason why those were started was when I held a knit night. I took those as an easy to grab project. I also started another log cabin quilt. I've only knit one of these before, and it was the biggest blanket I've ever made, if not the only blanket I've ever made. Only this time I'm probably going to do 4 blocks instead of the full 12, make it more of a baby blanket. For this one, I went through and took most of my blues and greens and teals, the odd bit of purple and the odd bit of like brown or pinks that might fit in with the colors, and I'm basing it off of those colors. So I currently have one block done. So this is currently the block I have done. And I don't do the outside edge until I decide at the very end. So this is the block, and then I still have to go and do the sides to make it the entire blanket for the background. This is block number 1. Lots of blues, lots of purples, green center, very much on the blue and the green sides. So that's block 1. That one's done. And I've started block number 2, and this is mostly become my bedtime knitting. So if I'm actually up in bed, and which I'm not very, because I'm a mom now, so when the kids go to bed, I'm ready for bed. And this is block 2 that I've started. So small starts, small beginnings. I'm kind of worried that this one's going to contrast against this one too much, because this one's more blues, but I'm thinking if I get more blues in this one, it might not look so bad. I'm waiting to see. I'm just kind of grabbing balls as I go, and with slight placement of colors, but I'm not worried too bad about placements. So that's the log cabin blanket I'm starting. Like I said, I'll probably only do 4 squares and connect them instead of the full 12, because the 12 was a big project. This is just me trying to use up my old acrylic yarn. We all have that pile of yarn that gets dropped off at your door from old knitters or retired knitters or people who don't need yarn anymore. And my stash is literally taking up my entire bedroom wall, so I am trying to use stuff with it. Last time, on my last episode, we had talked and I showed you the framework bralette that I was working on by Jessie Mae Martinson. And I'm still working on it, but now I have at least 2 straps done on it. So now I just have 2 back straps left to do. And once those 2 back straps are done, I will have a finished bralette there. Speaking of bralettes, I also cast on another ripple bralette by Jessie Mae. So the last one I showed you was Trista's, and it was done in the mermaid's tail. And so this one, same size, it's just being cast on in our Girl Rebel colorway. I haven't touched it in a while. It was just a cast on that was started. There is our Girl Rebel colorway. Beautiful pinks. There's black speckles in there. The odd bit of purple, but mostly pink with a splash of red. Beautiful color there. It's awful bright. You know all the punk rockers are going to be wearing this. And if you're not punk rock, wear it anyway. I'm not biased. Okay, and oh yes. Okay, so going through my projects, I came across the biggest starter project I've ever done. And it's not finished, okay? This is the first colorwork project I've tried to do, the first big sweater I've tried to do. This is the first project before I even knew about weights of yarn and using proper weights, how to gauge, any of that. Like, this was just, I know how to knit, I know how to stock knit, I want to do something else. So this is a Briggs & Little pattern. I believe it is the Olympic, Canadian Olympic sweater pattern. It's done all in Briggs & Little wool. It's the most expensive sweater I probably have. 100% wool. It's not finished. I need to finish it. I'm almost finished. So, one of the best things on it right off the get-go. This is the back. Now, there is a mistake on the back instantly. If you can see, my Canada, one of the A's missing its bar. But that's okay. So, there's the back. And then we have our sleeves. This one's not attached to the front yet, so it's not all sewn together, whereas this side is attached to the front. And on the front, we have this beautiful deer head. I know it's kind of rolling. Deer head, maple leaf at the bottom. I have started the other panel of the front. I'm probably only about here, probably. So I have to finish the front of it and then sew it on, finish the sleeve, and then there's a small collar, and then you can add a zipper to it to be finished. So really it's almost done, and I really should be getting it done. And I have all the yarn to do it, I believe. It's just a matter of putting the time and effort into it. Now, like I said, I didn't know gauge, I didn't know yarn weight, so this was meant to be used with like an extremely bulky weight yarn, and this is your normal worsted weight Briggs & Little Heritage yarn. So the size is completely off. The gauge, I used the right needles, I just used completely different yarn. So this is small. Like, you guys, it's a youth. I want to say it's a youth, even though I'm pretty sure this was an adult size sweater. So I've definitely come a long way from the sweater, but even if it's small and I probably won't wear it, nobody will probably buy it, this is getting hung up. And this is a shit. I'm going to cherish this. I'm going to cherish this for sure. And I'm sorry, I can't pronounce cherish. Cherish? Sorry. But it will get hung up and it will get loved, even though it's not being worn. But I'm sure at some point I'll force my daughter to wear it when she grows into it. So that's an old work in progress. I just wanted to pull out and show, because I'm deeply in love with all the work I've put into this for, yeah. You wouldn't even know how old this is. I probably started this at about 12 or 13 years old. So, I mean, I'm pretty proud. So there's that. And then I did get a small commission. So right now I'm kind of making these guys. I have one done, little llama, and these are going to be for a little girl's birthday party, and the kids at the end of the party get to adopt a llama. You take home a llama. And so this is one done. I need to make 4 more. 5 little llamas commissioned. But they're cute. They're pretty quick to make. It's just a favor for a friend. But they're cute. So that's also being made. And then I wanted to compare just 4 yarns of my own, of the FamilyFirstFibres yarn, just so that you guys can kind of see the difference in them. So that blue I showed you earlier, Sea Breeze or Seaside. I apologize, I should know my shit. This is a bright blue. Okay, and then I also have another blue. So I have 2 base blues. So this is Seaside, which is a bright blue. And then anyone who has visited Oxford, Nova Scotia, our hometown where we're from, probably knows that we are known for our blueberry. So Oxley is somehow how he got named. Don't ask me who named him. I just know his name is Oxley. He's Oxley the blueberry, and we live in Oxford, so suiting. So this is Oxley. This is our blueberry yarn. So Oxley and Sea Breeze are very different. Oxley is a very more toned down, muted blue, and Seaside, Sea Breeze is a very bright, in your face, vibrant, shouting blue. I'm sure people would say that there's more shouting yarn than this one, but I mean, of my yarns that I have now, the Oxley is very tonal, has lighter spots in it, has darker spots in it. I like it. I can't wait to see something done with this, something knit up in this, but I like Oxley. But I just wanted to showcase the difference in the colors. I also wanted to showcase the difference in the colors on my purples before we go. So I have 2 base purples as well. I like purple, what can I say? So we have, this one is Neptune, and this one is Purple Lupin. So 2 purples, but 2 different colors, so you can tell. So Neptune falls more on the blue undertones, and Purple Lupin has more deep purple undertones. There is a difference. If you get it in the right light, you can just see they're both 2 beautiful purples, but just like a shade off each other. These would actually probably go well if you were looking for something to do a fade. That's just my opinion. I would like to showcase more yarns later in the future. As for right now, we are hitting about the 20-minute mark for a video, and as you know, my goal is to make this about 20 minutes or under. So I want to thank you all for staying this long to watch if you have, and I want to welcome you back to join again for the next episode. Hopefully we won't be 2 months in this time. And happy knitting, friends. Feel free to add me on Instagram. Feel free to find me on Family First Fibres knitting page on Facebook. I can't think of my social medias at the moment. And I hope to see you in the future. Have fun and see you next time on episode 3.